This is Mindset to Drumset. Hey guys, another episode of Mindset to Drumset. So today I wanted to talk about listening. Seems like a very obvious thing, but yeah, listening. Learning drums and developing yourself to be the best drummer you can be. What does listening mean? Apart from the obvious, of course. So growing up, coming up as a drummer in the 80s, learning drums meant listening to drums. Listening was our first experience with learning drum patterns and learning what rock sounded like, what jazz sounded like, what reggae sounded like. Now in the 80s, certainly in Ireland, pop and rock were the main staples of music. And listening to music was a pastime. It was something we did. You would come in from school and put a record on, vinyl. And then we went, vinyl, cassette, CD, and so on. And that was huge for me. I had a really big music collection, and I still do. I don't have as many cassettes anymore. I really don't. That whole amnesty of changing over to CD happened, and regretfully, I didn't keep a lot of my cassettes. And they became quite a unreliable means. So you're sitting there with your favorite cassette on, and it would chew. So anyone my age knows what I'm talking about. But listening is huge. It's a great way to self-teach, to self-understand, and to get a little bit deeper into performance, playing drums, and also understanding song form and understanding sound. I'm really obsessed with sound. Certainly in the last 10 years, I've really dug deep and got detailed with sound. So here's a tip I give my students. So I say listen in fidelity. So you're going to listen to whatever song it is you're trying to learn or trying to understand, or even the drummer that you admire. You're going to listen to that particular tune 3 times. Okay. The first time you listen to it, you are going to listen to the song in its entirety, the full length of the song. When you do that, you're going to focus on every instrument, everybody involved, everything, the complete production. Vocals, guitar, keys, bass, drums, piano, all of it, okay? And you listen to it. And you really, truly listen. You pay close attention. Closer attention than you would just simply experiencing the song, enjoying the song. So you got to get into a frame of mind, a mindset where I want to learn truly now what this song is all about, and what the feel is, and so on. And of course what the drummer is doing and how is he doing it. So you listen to the song in its entirety. Second pass, you listen to the song and you isolate vocals, main other instruments similar, like let's maybe keys and bass, but definitely vocals, bass and drums, okay? And you focus on those. You start to pay attention to the rhythm of the vocals, pay attention to the lyrics, maybe when the singer is saying a certain word in the chorus, or towards the bridge or after the bridge, or starts and stops, maybe something's being played by the drummer at that particular time. Also the bassist, what rhythm is he playing? Does he have a strong connection with the drummer? Most often he will, but sometimes bassists will play off or against the drummer, and so you pay attention to that, because that will help you understand what the drummer's doing. So you listen to the vocals, the bass and the drums. And the last pass, of course, you isolate the drummer. Now when you do this, the first thing I like to do is to tap in my lap, tap on a pad, even tap on a metronome, and get what timing it is. What timing is the singer using? What timing is the drummer using? Because of course often with fusion music and other styles of music, the singer can be singing around the beat. I'll say it again, we're tapping with the drummer, because this is what we're doing. So you're tapping at the time signature. Let's just say it's 4 beats to the bar and it's 120 beats per minute. Let's not get too cute in this episode, but yeah, you just tap it out. You just tap along with the songs you're listening, okay? And now you've got the time signature. The second thing you want to do then is feel. What sort of feel is it? Is it a shuffle? Is it sixteenths? Is it quarter notes? What is the feel that he's playing? Now we look at the genre, the style. Well, we know it's probably pop rock, maybe it's blues, And then you get into that frame of mind, you get into that style, of playing, and you take it in your mind, and you understand, okay, this is how blues drummers play. You start thinking about the mix, the level of, how loud basically is the drummer playing, at least on this recording. This will always change live, but how loud is the drummer? How strong is this drummer playing in the blend of this track? You got that. Then you start making notes of what is the verse groove, what is the chorus groove, what is he doing in the bridge, and what are the fills. This is a great way to learn and break down what the drummer is doing. Now, you'll know by now, if you're watching this, that production means, and in studio you can do overdubs. Sometimes there was two drummers, sometimes there's a percussion track going on, or there was a percussionist. So start paying attention to that, because I've discovered in the past, let's say I'm learning a hi-hat pattern, I'll say, wow, how is one drummer doing that? And then I discover through reading or the liner notes on the cassette or whatever that was done at a certain studio, or maybe I read an interview and the drummer said, yeah, we did two versions of the hi-hat, and the second one was had EQ on it or verb or whatever. So sometimes we get caught out because overdubs are playing. Overdub is simply playing another track of drums over the existing one, and that has caught me out a few times. Stuart Copeland would use an echo on his hi-hat when he recorded some of the Police tunes, and as a kid that caught me out because he wasn't actually playing every note, they were simply echoed notes. So you will get some things like that will catch you out in production when you're listening. So now we've isolated the drums, we're looking at it, we've dialed in the timing, we've dialed in the pattern, we know what the verse groove is, what's he doing on the kick drum, does it change? And this is a great way to self-teach, or at least get a deeper understanding of what is going on. And I promise you that will really improve you as a drummer, because now you're a better listener than you ever were. A quick thing on listening, I like to listen on all devices, certainly when I record and I play back. So I'm an Apple guy, so I like to listen on my Mac. I'm using the iPhone for this, but I like to use in-ear monitors. I like to use the Vic Firth headphones. I also use studio monitors. The ones I use are Kali Audio studio monitors. When I record something, I like to listen back on different devices. I listen to it in the car, just to hear the mix. And so when you're learning a song, play it on a few different devices. Sometimes something else will come through, or you might hear it a little bit better. But definitely if you use cans or studio monitors, you'll definitely get a better sound profile of what you're trying to listen to. You'd be surprised what you can pick up on when you can hear with greater detail, with a better quality sound source. But listening for me, a lot of the times I can play a song once in one take, shall we say. I don't even like to say one take, but that's what it is, because I will have heard it before, and when I heard it before, I really paid attention to it and it stayed with me. I did a track the other day, I did a U2 track, and it's up on social media, and I did it a year ago, but I reshared it, and a couple of people liked it and passed comment that, wow, you must have really rehearsed that, because it's good and you must really know the tune. But actually, yeah, I do really know the tune, but I'd never played it before. I'd never practiced it. I genuinely had never played it in a band in any way, and yeah, obviously I'd never recorded it before. But from listening to it so many times and hearing it so many times and paying attention way back in the day and truly listening to it, a good bit of it stayed with me. And when I did record the track, actually it was Pride in the Name of Love by U2, just so you know, and you can find it out there on YouTube, Rhythm Saint or Drumming Academy page, or it's on a few drum forums as well. And I added my own little flair to it, but I retained most of what Larry from U2 did. But I know that I was able to just literally press play, press record, and record me performing it on my kit in Nashville, because I'd heard it so many times. It's not perfect, but it's also not a disaster, so that's kind of good. So listening is a big part of being a musician, and if you want to learn what a drummer is truly doing, I think setting time aside during your practice, or listen, even in the car, on the move, you say, okay, when I put this tune on, I'm really going to listen. And then, of course, like I say, if you've got good sound sources, you'd be surprised, especially on some of the older records, 70s and 80s, what you can pick up. You say, oh, wow. Another thing I want to talk about before I go is sound of drums. It's not always obvious what a drummer is using on the track, because effects are applied, just stuff like that. Sometimes, especially now today, it's software, and before that it was electronic drums, and before that it was a combination of drum machines. So when you're listening, you want to always think, well, how does the drum sound and how did he achieve that? So I would also say, along with listening, find extra resources in reading. Get drum magazines, online supplements. Often these secrets are revealed now. Go onto YouTube, and if anybody has any questions, get in touch with me, because I'm like to think of myself as an authority, quite a historian on this stuff. Paid attention. I've done a lot of research. I've all the drum magazines and books, and I like to find out how was the record achieved, and sometimes it's very surprising. 9 times out of 10, if you're going to listen to music from the last 20-30 years, longer, it's going to be acoustic drum kit in a room, in a studio with microphones on it. More than that, some effects was put on it, but that's really it. But now today, it could be literally anything. I mean, you can put a microphone to anything, and also the amount of outboards and effects software you can use today is just unbelievable. You can take a high-end electronic drum kit and you can use software, and you can buy libraries of drums from the past and modern drums. It's just amazing, and that affects sound, and of course will influence what you're listening to. But more often than not, what you're listening to, especially with a classic track, is going to be a drummer on a drum kit, and that excites me. And then when you look deeper, maybe in a drum magazine, it will break down what did that person use on the track, and again, I like to know. So you can apply that sound, if you like it, to your own setup. Again, that to me is very exciting. And I say to all the students, when you're playing, ask yourself, what is what I'm playing sound like? How do I sound? Because not only do you want to play in time and feel, you want to produce a good sound. And that is part of listening to yourself. So I hope some of this has been somewhat interesting. Please feel free to get in touch with me. More from me and Mindset to Drumset next week. Thanks for all the support. I'm really overwhelmed right now with the supports since the start of the year. Again, you guys just jump on my stuff, and I really appreciate it. It's great. Feel free to get in touch and keep grooving.